Hello and welcome to 10-Minute Election. As I know I'm a little late, but a few days ago Joe Biden did announce California Senator Kamala Harris would be his running mate. So I wanted to go over multiple things in today's video, just kind of an all-around update in the world of electoral politics. So I'm going to start off by discussing how Kamala Harris affects Joe Biden's electoral map and his electoral standing against Donald Trump. I'm going to talk about some primaries that went down, and then we're going to dive into some landslide scenarios for each candidate. So, this map has 315 non competitive electoral votes, in my judgment. These do not mean safe, there are some likely states. Whatever you want to say about the 315 electoral votes, essentially, uh, the votes in those states don't really matter for much these days in terms of the electoral college and presidential elections. I think that might not be the best thing, but that aside, let's look at the competitive states where Harris helps or hurts. So down in the southwestern region, a lot of very quickly diversifying electorates, a lot of younger voters, a lot of Latino voters and other minority voters, a lot of college-educated voters, and with the suburbs trending rapidly Democratic, um, Harris is going to be a massive boon to Joe Biden's campaign in the state of Nevada. Arizona and Texas, I think she will boost some of that minority and younger turnout. There are certainly candidates that would have boosted younger turnout a little bit more, but frankly, I think Kamala Harris is a great pick to do that and boost turnout from voters of color that Hillary Clinton was not able to stimulate without losing some of that suburban and even conservative vote. So Arizona and Texas, Kamala Harris is going to help. Likewise, she's going to boost the black vote in Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. The reason I have Florida and South Carolina only is tilt, meaning I should have clarified this before. A likely categorization means Kamala Harris will be a big boon to Joe Biden's campaign. A lean categorization is a small but noticeable jolt, and a tilt means I don't really know, but I think she's going to help a little bit more than she'll hurt. The other way for red, with likely red, like we see in Iowa, being the worst, meaning Kamala Harris hurts Joe Biden, and we'll probably see it just a little bit in the polls. So Florida and South Carolina, I don't think Kamala Harris will help much. I don't think she'll hurt him, especially in South Carolina. Democrats do certainly need to boost that black vote if they want any shot of winning the state of South Carolina. But I didn't mark it as a lean or even a likely just because the state is fairly conservative. So Joe Biden probably needs to pick an actual conservative, a more conservative Southern Democrat to actually help him there, and that wouldn't be the best choice overall. In Florida, the Latino vote is really what Biden needs to boost here, as well as a lot of the white vote. A lot of Florida's electorate is still white. Uh, Kamala Harris will help with the black vote and a lot of the voters of color, but I'm just not sure that with Florida generally being a little bit more conservative, although it does vote Democratic quite a bit. I'm just not quite sure how Kamala Harris will help Joe Biden in Florida. She won't hurt him, but I'm not prepared to say that Kamala Harris will be a big boon to Joe Biden in Florida just yet. Nebraska, 2nd Congressional District, Iowa, New Hampshire, and Maine, 2nd Congressional District are all just very Caucasian electorates. Kamala Harris is really going to boost that more urban turnout, and I think she will help with some suburban voters, but that's just not going to be the case as much in the states that I've marked as lean red. Ohio, I think that's the case, but I do think Kamala Harris does gain something for Joe Biden. Again, it really needs to be someone more conservative to help Joe Biden in these states, but they're really states that Joe Biden doesn't particularly need to be helped. The point is that Donald Trump is having to spend a lot of money to lock down these states, and the big thing is when we move up into the Rust Belt, Kamala Harris doesn't really harm or help Joe Biden, I think. In fact, I think if anything, she's actually going to help Joe Biden a little bit, boost turnout in places like Milwaukee, urban areas that Hillary Clinton really failed to boost turnout in. I mean, obviously, she's winning in places like Milwaukee and Green Bay, but it's not the numbers just aren't what she needed in 2016 to defeat Donald Trump's margins with the white working class and across the more rural parts of the state. So I don't think she helps or hurts, although there's definitely an argument to move these into the teal green category. But Kamala Harris will be a boon both in the South and the Southwest. So overall, I do think Kamala Harris was a solid choice by Joe Biden, although ultimately we'll see how that plays out. Couple primaries to talk about. In the northwestern Georgia congressional district, I forgot exactly which number, but we had a GOP primary where Marjorie Taylor Greene, a conspiracy theorist, defeated neurosurgeon John Cowan. Taylor Greene received about 57% of the vote, and Greene is controversial because she is a believer in the Q conspiracy theory, which is one of the main proponents of kind of the deep state theory. So it's going to be interesting to see how the House GOP congressional caucus will handle Greene. She will almost certainly win. It's a deeply conservative, very rural district, so there's really no chance that a Democrat would actually beat Taylor Greene now that she's won her primary. She's probably headed to Congress, so it'll be interesting to see how the GOP congressional caucus will respond to probably their most controversial member yet, and this is just after they got rid of Steve King in that Iowa primary. It looks like they may have a new thorn in their side in terms of Taylor Greene. I do think she will almost certainly be headed to Washington come January. Another primary, Ilhan Omar's primary. She is one of the members of the Progressive Squad, as they are called, and she was able to defeat a very well-funded, actually progressive challenger, Antoine Melanmo, I believe is his name. I don't think I got that right. I'm not quite sure. But Ilhan Omar did win actually about by the margin Taylor Greene did. In Georgia, about 57% of the vote for Ilhan Omar. So seeing as she does represent a deep blue district, she should be headed back to Congress. Melanmo ran a solid campaign. I think he hammered Omar over the right things, but ultimately it was not enough. So Omar will probably be heading back to Congress come January 2021. All right, let's look at some landslide scenarios. These are not scenarios that are completely out of the ordinary. I think this is the Biden landslide map. And what I mean by landslide is this is an optimistic map that we could legitimately see on election day. I mean, if you want a landslide scenario, South Carolina would be going blue. I mean, maybe even Montana, Alaska, and Missouri. But this is a realistic scenario, and I think especially if the numbers get just a little bit better for Joe Biden, or even if they don't for that matter, we could see this map play out on election day. We see Joe Biden with 413 electoral votes. That would be the biggest electoral vote share since might be Clinton, might actually be George Bush in 1988. So this would be a big win for the Democratic Party, probably taking the Senate with them and expanding on their House majority. And so I'm not projecting this map, but I do think this is a map that we could legitimately see with Texas, Georgia, Iowa, Ohio, Maine, 2nd Congressional District all going blue, and the whole Rust Belt flipping back into the Democratic column by actually a likely margin, meaning more than 5 points. Let's look at the other side of this. The Trump landslide map. He retains all of his 2016 states, minus Michigan, and New Hampshire is a toss-up. This was actually fairly close to the map before the coronavirus hit. Um, this map is a little better than what the map was. It was really a toss-up election, if not Joe Biden being a slight favorite back then. But this is a map where Donald Trump's numbers would have to get much better. We'd have to see an economic recovery, and then we could see Donald Trump squeaking over that 270 line yet again. With very narrow wins in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. I'd believe that he wins in Wisconsin before he wins in Pennsylvania. Notice that I have North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Arizona, all very close states, as lean margins. Okay, thank y'all for watching today. I know there was a lot of content, but I was not able to make that Kamala Harris deep dive video right when that pick came out, but I wanted to get around to it soon. Once again, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see y'all sometime this week where we will discuss more news from the world of electoral politics. Peace out. Stay safe.